What's up, everybody? Welcome to the September 10th edition of Horror Headlines. I am Calamity John Marr. That is the hitman, Hunter Shambliss from Welcome to Primetime. We are here to read you the best headlines for the last 7 days in horror. Hunter, how you doing this evening?
I am doing fantastic, John. We have 5 news topics for tonight, including 2 brand new trailers. So I'm ready to get into it. How are you doing?
I'm definitely ready to get into it. I watched the trailers this week, so I will not be caught off guard. Hunter, what do we got first?
All right, from bloodydisgusting.com. It's our main topics. Mike Flanagan aims to make The Exorcist his scariest movie yet. David Gordon Green's planned Exorcist trilogy, which began with the poorly received Exorcist Believer, is no more, with Blumhouse pivoting down a bold new path instead. Mike Flanagan will be directing the next installment in the franchise for Blumhouse and Morgan Creek, and it's already been dated for a theatrical release on March 13th, 2026. While the plot details are currently under wraps, the new film will tell an all-new story set in the Exorcist universe and is definitely not a sequel to last year's The Exorcist Believer. Flanagan's feature is said to be a radical new take for the franchise, and he teases his vision for the franchise's big return in a new chat with the Hollywood Reporter this week. He said, "We aren't making this easy on ourselves, but I've always felt there's no point in going into a franchise or into a property that's monolithic unless there is something new you can bring. I chased The Exorcist very aggressively because I was convinced I had something I could add." So, thoughts on the update by Mike Flanagan saying he wants to make this the scariest movie yet?
I mean, Mike Flanagan definitely had his work cut out for him. Jamie, thank you for joining. Jamie, thank you for sending the heart me. We appreciate it. But we all know Mike Flanagan has his work cut out for him. This is actually like a very monumental thing. This is big news in the horror community. Obviously, no slight to David Gordon Green. David Gordon Green is good at what he does. David Gordon Green is a great comedy director. Him and Danny McBride together make great comedies. Oh, hey, Jamie, how you doing again? The Halloween movies, I think, were good. I thought Halloween was good. Halloween Kills was good. Halloween Ends, divisive. I think it's okay. Exorcist Believer, okay as well. Exorcist Believer, I think DGG's luck just ran out. We all know that Exorcist Believer, everyone panned that movie. It was not in the vision. It was kind of like Exorcism Power Rangers across multi-denominational Power Rangers. So people crapping on Exorcist Believer was to be expected. So the hole is large, but one of the heroes everybody was clamoring for was to get Mike Flanagan in there to talk about doing a better movie. He better be confident. I need a confident Mike Flanagan coming in. Him telling me it's the scariest movie he's ever done. I mean, I've seen Dr. Sleep, so that's a tall hill to climb. But I believe if anybody can do it, it's probably going to be Mike Flanagan. What do you think, Hunter?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Mike Flanagan is one of the best horror directors working today. When you look at, I don't think he has missed one movie he has directed or he was a part of. Even the TV shows he was a part of have kicked ass. So the fact that he's walking into this franchise like The Exorcist, and as he said, when you go into a franchise like this, you want to make sure you're doing it because you can add something new, something that hasn't been seen in this franchise before. So with him saying that, it gets me more excited because I know he's not just going to go in and do it for, a cash grab. Like, he has a story he can tell, and based off of his Midnight Mass show, where that dealt with horror and religion, that gets me very excited to see what kind of horror take he's going to have on this kind of religious exorcism type movie.
If we want to look what Mike Flanagan did on a smaller scale, let's just look at the history, right? We know Mike Flanagan directed Ouija Origin of Evil, which came on the heels of Ouija. Ouija was horrible. Ouija, and it's like a Hasbro property, right? It's like these Hasbro movies that kind of just suck. But he took a movie that had a horrible premise and a horrible movie, and then came in right on the back of it and made a great movie. Mm-hmm. So if he could turn Ouija around, even with the damage that has been done to the Exorcist, brand with the Exorcist Believer, I do believe it's in the absolute best hands. Maybe there's a few other directors who can maybe handle it, but I think Flanagan is so hot right now that even the mythos of Mike Flanagan being attached helps them.
Oh, it definitely does. Having a big name like that. I think the problem that Blumhouse made with David Gordon Green was trying to capitalize off of the success that the Halloween movies had and trying to make The Exorcist into a trilogy that was planned from the beginning, just like they did with Halloween, and expecting the same results.
Everyone's just doing trilogies now.
Yeah, and with The Exorcist and the Halloween franchise are two completely different monsters to tackle. I thought that The Exorcist Believer by itself could be an okay movie. I think once they bring in the ties to the original and Ellen Burstyn, that's where the movie really sinks for me.
I also feel like, Mike Flanagan is a genius when it comes to like smoothing things over. Obviously, we know the story about The Shining. We know how Stephen King and Stanley Kubrick had different visions. But then Flanagan comes in with Dr. Sleep, and he gets the basically blessing of Stephen King, but still stays true to Kubrick's vision. So we know that like Mike Flanagan also has this reputation of being this great unifier in the horror world. So if anybody can fix David Gordon Green's vision while staying true to whatever is worthwhile in David Gordon Green's vision, Mike Flanagan has the resume.
With Blumhouse's track record this past year, I actually have heard pretty decent reviews on See No Evil, which is coming out, I believe, this week, correct?
This Thursday it's coming out, and the people are saying it's like great.
It's like 85% on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
Yeah, but whatever. I still even if Speak No Evil is like the greatest movie.
Speak No Evil. I'm sorry.
Even if Speak No Evil winds up being the greatest movie of the year, that's not enough to wash this Blumhouse stink off. Like this year, we have Night Swim, Imaginary, and Afraid. All movies that have like unique concepts that like they're mailed in, but they dipped it in shit and then mailed it in. Like that. Like fine. So like Speak No Evil needs to be the first of a string of great movies for people to start being like, oh yeah, Blumhouse is where it's at. Blumhouse is where it's at. We're nowhere near that yet.
Do you get worried then with Mike Flanagan working with Blumhouse?
It's a step in the right direction. Like let's keep talking about Speak No Evil for a second. Like James Watkins directing a remake of Speak No Evil is probably the greatest move you could do because you bring the credibility of the guy that directed Eden Lake to another really tragic, brutal story. So I trust James Watkins to do this. Even though all the reviews I'm saying is that these movies are not the same, I still trust James Watkins to give us something brutal. Yeah. So this is good. This is one step in the right direction, but they took 10 in the other direction to start with. So they owe me like 9 movies because the last movie that was a Blumhouse movie that I enjoyed before that was like The Passenger. Yeah,
that Blumhouse?
That was Blumhouse, but it was like direct to video. Like so, like
that's the Kyle Gallner one, right?
And I think the 2 good movies they put out last year were both direct to video. Because was Totally Killer Blumhouse? I think it might have been.
Yes.
So the 2 good movies they put out last year never saw theaters. So come on, Blumhouse, wake up.
Was Megan this year or last year?
Megan was, I believe, January. It was January of 2023. Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I was thinking it was January of this year, and I was like,
no. It just feels like it. It just feels like it. But it was definitely more than a year ago. It's more than 18 months ago. All right, that's enough talking about Mike Flanagan. In Mike Flanagan, we trust. Mike, save us.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, Megan and Skinamarink both came out in January. Skinamarink, appreciate what they did there. That's all I'll say on that. What's our second headline?
All right, let's move on to our first trailer of the night. The Wolfman, the teaser trailer for Leigh Whannell's next Universal monster movie. This is from Blumhouse or from BloodDisgusting.com.
Also Blumhouse, but go ahead.
Director Leigh Whannell from The Invisible Man returns to the world of the Universal monsters with next year's The Wolfman. The short and sweet trailer has arrived. From Universal and Blumhouse, Whannell's Wolfman will be howling his way into theaters on January 17th, 2025. Wolfman stars Christopher Abbott as a man whose family is being terrorized by a lethal predator. So, thoughts on the trailer for Leigh Whannell's Wolfman?
Yeah, we did just see it, and Jamie's in the chat. Jamie actually was involved with Skinamarink. I do remember Jamie joining our live probably a few months ago, so I do remember she was involved in that movie. And, you know, I enjoy it and I respect it. But right now we're going to talk about the Wolfman. I do think one of the positive things that Blumhouse did in the last, I guess, 4 years was give us Leigh Whannell dipping his toes back into this kind of revisitation of the Universal Monsters and the reimagining of Universal Monsters movies with, you know, The Invisible Man was great. And I think the one thing that we get when we get these Leigh Whannell Blumhouse movies is they're letting him go get actors and actresses that have buzz. So having Elizabeth Moss in The Invisible Man and now having Christopher Abbott and Julia Garner in The Wolfman, that gives me hope because Christopher Abbott doesn't miss. Julia Garner doesn't miss. Blumhouse misses a lot. But those actors and this director don't miss. So this might be another win, even though the only negative thing I've seen about The Wolfman is I saw some of the like specs on the creature design, and it does look like hot garbage. So hopefully that was hopefully that's fake news. And it really doesn't look that bad because the trailer was actually pretty good. The trailer, it's kind of a it's a modern reimagining of the Wolfman, which I kind of like. He's a family man. There's like dynamics with the wife. There's dynamic with his daughter. I'm invested. I'm going to see it. Hunter, what do you think?
Yeah, I thought this was a really good trailer. I thought this movie was like coming out in 2026. So to hear this coming out in January of next year, just a few months out, gets me more excited considering we have Robert Eggers with Nosferatu in December, and then we're going right into the Wolfman in January. Like
I want my new Creature of the Black Lagoon. I want my new Creature of the Black Lagoon movie. Yeah. Jamie's in the chat. Jamie says she liked the trailer as well. Yeah, the new teaser trailer for the Wolfman is exactly what I want in a teaser trailer.
Doesn't show too much.
Yeah, you don't feel. She said she doesn't feel scared of the Wolfman yet. I think really, were we ever really scared of the Wolfman? It really is more of like a body horror kind. You're not scared of the Wolfman. I think you're supposed to be scared of the position he's in and like how scary that situation would be if it happened to you.
But also, it's hard to tell from a 1 minute teaser trailer.
I think most of a good amount of the werewolf stories, especially the werewolf stories from beginning in the 21st century, are more about like the horrors of if you were to be a werewolf and like how difficult it is to like maintain in that environment. So like it's not really the horror of. There are very few. Maybe there's a movie like Dog Soldiers or something like that where they're fighting werewolves. That's different. But like most classic werewolf stories are about the struggle of the individual who's cursed by lycanthropy. So this feels more like that. I'm down with that.
Do you think that Leigh Whannell and Blumhouse are slowly starting to create their own version of their Universal monster movies? Because he had The Invisible Man, now he's doing The Wolfman.
It's been pitched that way. It's what we were supposed to get, but they're taking their sweet ass time doing it.
Yeah.
Like if you think about the Universal movies, like they put out
Man was 2020, right? So that's a 4-year span.
They're way off pace because the Universal Monster movies, like they put out like all told, the Universal Monsters package was like upwards of 60 movies they put out across 20 years. Like maybe 25 years. Still, like we're at a glacial pace compared to that.
Yeah, because once the Wolfman comes out, that would have been 5 years between his Invisible Man and his Wolfman movie.
I mean, yeah, we've gotten like a lot of vampire Dracula stories in the interim. They're not Blumhouse Universal movies. We've gotten some Frankenstein.
Is Renfield not Blumhouse?
I don't believe Renfield was Renfield Blumhouse. I'll have to double check.
I thought it was because it at least was under the Universal banner.
All right, well then maybe it was. But I mean, I don't think you can reconcile like Invisible Man and Renfield and this serious Wolfman movie all being in the same universe. That'd be crazy. That'd be a little crazy. So they would owe us a serious vampire movie, and we've gotten some decent serious vampire movies, like and we've gotten some decent comedic vampire movies in the last few years, and we've definitely gotten some decent Frankenstein's monster-inspired movies in the last year. So like Birth Rebirth is still a classic.
I need to watch that.
Yeah, so we've had, people dabbling in the stories that the Universal monsters were inspired by. if Blumhouse really wants to go in this direction and give us a full spectrum of Universal Monsters movies, let's get with it. Start greenlighting these movies. Like, I need all of them then. I need even the minor ones. Like, we'll need like a new Phantom. We'll need a new Creature. We'll need a new Frankenstein. We'll need all of that. So
an updated Frankenstein will be awesome.
Yeah. And I'm okay. And I'm okay with that. If we're going to go with the same formula of give me a good director who's willing to attach the good actors and just go with it. And if it's always going to be Leigh Whannell, good. Let this be Leigh Whannell's calling card. I don't care. Mm-hmm. He killed Invisible Man. And I think this Wolfman movie looks pretty good. So if they wanted to throw a Frankenstein script at Leigh Whannell and have him attach a few people to it.
Or James Wan.
I'm not that James Wan can't do it, but I do like Leigh Whannell's vision, and he's already proven he can do it. So, and James Wan is a DC man now, so he can just keep doing Aquaman movies.
Keep doing Aquaman movies, and they somehow make money.
Yeah. What's our next topic?
All right, so we are getting an Ice Cream Man comic book movie coming out from the writers of Beetlejuice. Image Comics' popular comic book series, The Ice Cream Man, was at one point being turned into a television series, but is now, or for the now defunct QB-TV. I don't remember that, but yeah, it was short-lived for a reason.
Oh, Quibi, like those 7-minute TV shit? Yeah, the Quibi app, I remember that.
But the property has found a new life this week. The Hollywood reported this afternoon that Alfred Goff and Miles Millar from Beetlejuice are producing a film adaptation of the Ice Cream Man comics for Sony's Screen Gems. Ice Cream Man serves up a range of horror flavors and genres, all threaded by weaves of these tales. The titular character, who would be a friend or foe, an angel or a devil. The Hollywood Reporter's notes in today's exclusive report: the project is in early development and a search for a writer is currently underway. So, thoughts on the Ice Cream Man being turned into a movie?
I'm not familiar with this Ice Cream Man comic. I'm familiar with the Clint Howard Ice Cream Man.
I was thinking the Clint Howard one as well.
B-slasher movie from the 90s. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that being remade, but this doesn't sound like that. Is this like a horror anthology thing with the Ice Cream Man as like the Crypt Keeper?
I'm looking at it just to be.
Yeah. I mean, Image. Okay, let me rewind. Image Comics, for the most part, bangers, right? Like Image Comics gave us The Walking Dead, right? Image Comics gave us what's that other movie? What's that other show I like? There's been a lot of television shows that have been adapted out of Image Comics. I think Lock and Key is Image, I believe, and a few other things like that. So Image Comics has always been a place where people who are making movies, people who are making TV shows can go back to that well over and over again, because it really has always been at the cutting edge of comic book art and comic.
Wasn't The Walking Dead Image?
Yeah, Walking Dead was Image. Yeah, that was the first example I gave. Outcast was also Image. Great stories. So yeah, give me Spawn as Image. Spawn was one of the original Images. Yeah. So yeah, if you're gonna cherry pick the best Image comics and make movies out of them, yeah, I'm all on board. So, but please treat it the same way you would treat The Walking Dead. Give it the respect it deserves. I will need to do my research on this version of the Ice Cream Man, because I have no idea what it's.
All right, so I have the premise brought up for the comics. It says the series is a semi anthological horror comic series of loosely connected stories that all share the common link of the mysterious ice cream man named Rick, who while a seemingly ordinary ice cream man, possesses powers which he uses upon unsuspecting people. Rick's nemesis Caleb, a man dressed in an all-black cowboy outfit, will sporadically appear in the series, trying to thwart Rick's plans, sometimes successfully and sometimes unsuccessfully.
So we're saying this Ice Cream Man character is kind of like Sam from Trick or Treat.
Yes.
Okay. That's a proven formula, right? Like if we're gonna have like just a dude who's there, or he's either that, or he's like the Crypt Keeper from Tales from the Crypt, or he's the Creeper from Creep Show. Sure, yeah. But my whole thing is like, if we're just gonna do a one-off anthology, I feel like we need to put some weight behind it so that people want more.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. I hate one-off anthologies that have a mascot. Like does it need a mascot if it's a one-off anthology? Like VHS doesn't have a mascot, but let's see. Okay, I'm going to reserve judgment. I will probably watch this movie.
All right, let's move on to our fourth topic.
All right.
All right, John, we have another exorcism movie coming out in 2025. Are you excited for another one?
Yeah. What's this fresh take on exorcism movies?
The exorcism movie, The Ritual, starring Dan Stevens, and Al Pacino, is releasing in 2025.
All right.
Al Pacino and Dan Stevens are set to lead the cast of the upcoming exorcism horror movie, The Ritual, from XYZ Films and director David Mendel. Variety reports this week that XYZ Films is planning a U.S. theatrical release in 2025. Additionally, Variety notes that today's fresh report that the movie has sold out for most international territories by XYZ Films. Based on a true story, the film follows two priests, one questioning his faith while one reckons with a troubled past, who must put aside the differences to save a possessed young woman through a difficult and dangerous series of exorcisms. So, thoughts on the Ritual starring Dan Stevens and Al Pacino?
Dan Stevens is borderline genius. Have you seen Cuckoo?
I have not. I need to watch it.
Dan Stevens with
I have seen Abigail though. He's amazing in that.
With Dan Stevens' tough New York cop accent in Abigail, and then him playing a German man in Cuckoo. What range for a British man to do this? So I don't know what character he's going to play in The Ritual, but then I can't imagine Al Pacino's doing like a full production. It's going to be one of these like he's in the movie for 5 minutes, I imagine. Regardless.
Well, he is one of the leads, like, because it says right here, follows two priests, one questioning his faith, which is Stevens, and one reckoning with a troubled past, Pacino.
Wow, like Al Pacino as a lead in an XYZ film. It's like, I mean, XYZ puts out like really good films. I'm a big fan of that studio, but it's not like a Pacino studio. You know what I mean? Like Dan Stevens, I can kind of buy being in an XYZ film. Pacino's a great get. He must owe somebody a favor, or somebody's blackmailing him, I guess, for XYZ to land Al Pacino. Or I mean, he just had a baby, so he needs that money.
So, what is XYZ Films known for?
XYZ, a bunch of like smaller release films. I'd have to pull up their catalog in a second, but let me see. I'll give you an idea. All right. Yeah, actually, go to XYZ Films on Wikipedia. You'll see what you can rifle off some of the films they got there.
All right, give me 1 second. I'll do that.
I'll pull that up while you. What do you think about this idea for the movie?
It sounds like every other exorcism movie that we've got in the last few years, but Dan Stevens is a great actor. Al Pacino is a great actor. The premise is, generic, but maybe they could do something different with it. But I'm still going to see it. I'm still going to be excited to see it just because of those two actors being involved in it.
All right, here are some of the films that XYZ has given us. They were the American distributors of The Raid and the Raid 2. They did, let's see here, Dead Snow, Red versus Dead.
They did Tusk.
They were involved with Tusk, Life After Beth, Tusk, Spring, Justin Benson, Aaron Moorhead's Spring.
Tusk was A24.
No, A24 and XYZ. They were both involved with it. Baskin, The Holidays Anthology, Kevin Smith's Yoga Hosers, Under the Shadow, that Iranian horror movie, the anthology XX. They did The Void.
I've seen XX because I had to watch it for our match.
Yeah, S. Craig Zoller's Brawl in Cell Block 99 with Vince Vaughn. Mom and Dad, the Nicolas Cage movie. I Killed Giants. Mandy, the other Nicolas Cage movie, the Panos Cosmatos movie. Apostle, which is another Dan Stevens movie. Anna and the Apocalypse, the horror musical.
I love that movie. Okay.
Yeah, The Prodigy with Taylor Schilling. Color Out of Space, that other Nicolas. They do a lot of Nicolas Cage movies. Come to Daddy, with Elijah Wood. Vivarium with Jesse Eisenberg. Let's see, The Wolf of Snow Hollow, that Jim Cummings movie, that's really good. The other Justin Benson, Aaron Moore movie, Synchronic. But I'm only in 2020. 2020 they did Julian Maury, Alexander Castillo's The Deep House. The Mean One, yeah. Prisoners of a Ghostland, which is another Nicolas Cage movie. They did something in the basically. There's a lot of directors that seem to have like a contract with them because all the Justin Benson, Aaron Moorhead movies came out through XYZ. So Something in the Dirt, yeah, The Harbinger, Nocebo, The Mean One, Sarah the Bone Woman, that Peruvian movie from last year came out. God is a Bullet. My Animal, which is a Canadian werewolf movie that came out last year.
Run, Rabbit, Run.
Yeah, Humane by Caitlin Cronenberg from this year. Yeah, it's a decent studio that's putting out a lot of good movies. There's some garbage mixed in there, but but a lot of movies I like came through that studio. Put it that way.
So yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on the premise of this movie and like why we're getting so many fucking exorcism movies?
They're just not gonna stop. Like I mean, I guess it remains to be seen. Like, yeah, okay, so we got Dan Stevens questioning his faith. You got Al Pacino as the older, wiser priest. What are they doing? Like, if it's just like there's a little boy and the devil's in him. Like, I'm
we've seen that.
I'm almost beyond giving a shit about that premise. If it's anything else, like I'm willing to give it a shot.
That's literally The Exorcist.
Yeah, I've seen The Exorcist and I've seen The Exorcist Believer. I don't need that story anymore. At least if you get a movie like The Pope's Exorcist, it's cool because you have like a hip Russell Crowe playing a badass priest. I don't know. This movie does sound like The Exorcist, right?
It kind of does, but like we only know like that little premise that there could be something more in the movie, and I hope there is that really turns it on its head. By the way, from Facebook.
What do we got? Oh, hey, Ann Lois, how's it going?
But yeah, if it's just the same old like exorcism format, then yeah, that's gonna get kind of annoying if we keep getting the same type of movie.
Yeah, for Al Pacino, for Alphonse Pacino, I will go one more time. But please stop making this movie. Like, just stop making like this priest and this priest saving a kid. I don't need it anymore. There's too many of those movies.
Oh man! All right, let's move on to our last topic. Are you ready?
Yeah, I am ready.
All right, this is our second trailer for a Prime movie called House of Spoils. So again, from BloodydDisgusting.com, Oscar winner Ariana Close stars in as a high-pressure chef in House of Spoils, a new genre-bending thriller that explores the chaos she encounters both in and out of the kitchen. Amazon MGM Studios has unveiled the first trailer teasing the culinary nightmares ahead for the head chef. House of Spoils will have its world premiere at Fantastic Fest on Saturday, September 21st, before premiering globally on Prime Video on October 3rd, 2024. The film follows an ambitious chef as she opens up a restaurant on a remote estate where she battles kitchen chaos, crushing self-doubt, and a haunting presence who threatens to sabotage her at every turn. So thoughts on the trailer for House of Spoils?
Yeah, I watched this trailer before we went live here. It kind of gives me like The Menu vibes, but it's not funny. Yeah, and so like it's kind of like the opposite side of The Menu where like she is like a Michelin level chef. She has been given the opportunity to open like a dream restaurant in a remote location. But like instead of her messing with everyone else, like somebody's messing with her. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like an inversion of The Menu. Is that the kind of feels you were getting?
Kind of, because there was a few moments in the trailer where I found myself laughing. And it seems like it's going to have that kind of dark comedy to it that The Menu had.
Yeah.
But also, like, I'm interested to see what is actually causing the food to spoil like that. If it's going to be somebody sabotaging her, or if it's going to be something that, like, maybe is in her head, or maybe because there is an interesting idea of, like, a chef who is overworking themselves. Because you saw in the trailer, she is taking pills for something. Maybe she's just hallucinating that all this food is going bad, and that slowly drives her crazy.
Definitely, and like honestly, it feels like if you're a person who is squeamish with like mold and like maggots and like bad food, This movie's gonna hit you where it hurts, because like there's definitely a lot of in the short 2.5-minute trailer, there was a lot of like spoiled food imagery that was like unsettling to me as a lover of food.
So thoughts on the trailer as a whole? I don't think it showed too much like most trailers.
Yeah, I'm not clear about like what exactly is going on. Like I clearly like she's the hero, she's the main character, she is at odds with something. I read some of the descriptions where like there was like a previous owner of the property is he sabotaging her? Is it a curse? Like we don't know. So it's again, it's familiar themes, but like this is the way it's put together, it feels novel.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what it actually is, like what is causing this. I am personally going in thinking that it's going to be just her, like mentally seeing that. Maybe she's overworking herself, and maybe she just starts seeing mold everywhere. That'd be an interesting turn. But somebody messing with her, that's good too, because then you can really go into the good guy versus bad guy dynamic of it. I'm just excited to see new unique horror movies and that aren't just the same rinse and repeat.
Yeah. And Ariana DeBose is very capable. I mean, ISS was not a great movie, but she was fine in it. And I've found her to be capable in pretty much every other role she's been in. So like she's a fine person to build a movie around. I'm going to watch it.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to watch it as well. Those are all the topics.
And I'm not seeing anybody coming through the live on either side. So let's just wrap it up for today then. And if you made it this far in the video on YouTube, definitely like, comment, subscribe, share to Welcome to Primetime. You can go over to Why We Love Horror. You can do the same stuff there, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hunter's Facebook group, Welcome to Primetime. Mine, Why We Love Horror. You can see the TikTok right here, WWL Horror. Hunter's over at Nerd Entertainment Network on TikTok. And by the way, I got the Face of Horror competition going on. So if you do the website, actually it's not here on YouTube. It's on the TikTok. Go to the TikTok. You'll see there. It is faceofhorror.org/2024/ my name, JOHN -MAHER. I'd appreciate your votes. Until next time, man. Thanks, Hunter. And Hunter, what do you got going up?
Yep, right here at Welcome to Primetime. We just uploaded a brand new episode of Sinister's Horror Stash on 2023's Godzilla -1, which is a fantastic movie. Go ahead and check out that episode. And everything else on the channel. We're doing brackets. We're doing showdown brackets. We're doing reviews. We're doing the podcast. We have just horror headlines. We have so much stuff going on the channel that you will find something you enjoy.
Yeah, that same thing over here at Why We Love Horror, but I'm not going to bore you with that lineup. So, Hunter, why don't you hit him with that outro?
All right, guys. Have a good night.